Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another Let's Interview the Finalists for the upcoming Athenaeum tabletop campaign. Today, we are here with Ronic. Welcome, Ronic.
Hi. Uh,
And I only just found out, Ronic, that this actually is your very first interview.
yep. Somehow managed to get into two spin-off without getting into the interviews. Don't know how it happened, but here I am.
Hopefully, that says a lot. And Ronick has selected one of his interviewers today, Callista. Thank you so much for joining us, Callista. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what you have to bring for us today, Ronick. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to be snacking on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich here, so hopefully
Don't
you
worry.
don't mind that.
Don't worry. I'm trying to drink some tea here myself.
Perfect, a good old PB and J. Anyway,
In your opinion, what do you think makes for a successful group?
It's a good group when old people can actually get along even outside of the game. They talk to each other outside of game and just even after a game stay around to chat with each other. Just it's need to be a good group when the people just are able to talk to each other without, well, feeling weird about it.
What do you think are your biggest strengths and weaknesses as an RPer?
Weaknesses I can easily say because it's I have somehow find it easier to think of them. Well, I'm usually quite quiet. I stay quiet most of the time, not wanting to interrupt other people. So I think that could be seen as a good and a bad thing. So I can easily let other people have their time on the light, so I don't interrupt them easily.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just need a little push to get going when I start RPing. After like a little push, after some time, I might get much. It gets much easier for me to
Mm.
start RPing, and I tend to get into character quite easily afterwards.
What was an in-game moment for you that was just incredibly memorable, and why? So that could be, something very funny, something very dramatic. What was the most memorable RP experience that you have had so far?
It was a medieval Pokemon campaign. We are in a town that had some kind of beast going around destroying around the town, and I decided to let my little puppy Lillipup to try and track it down. Our group, my it got my Lillipup got the track and started following, but it went a little bit faster than we expected. So we did it. We lost him at the one moment and managed to somehow keep track of them. And when we found them next, uh, they were dead. They were
Oh,
they they were attacked by a bunch of wild sneasels. That yeah, it was there was no saving him. It was dead on the spot. And those sneasels almost killed my partner Pokemon as well. Almost decapitated him. Thankfully, they managed to survive, but that left my Pokemon with a scar and me somehow a little hatred towards sneasels.
rest in peace, Lillipup. You were
Yeah.
brave. You were brave,
Yes.
Bubba.
Ronick, as you mentioned, you have been in two other spin offs, the Pokemon Tabletop Campaign spin off, as well as the Wizarding World Harry Potter spin off. What would you say were the biggest things that you learned from those experiences? And how do you believe you've improved since the Wizarding World campaign?
Well, since the Pokemon and Harry Potter, there was a difference. I could easily tell that I was much more easy. I was easier to talk, and had much easier time to actually expressing myself and just just speaking. Was much more easier, and just RPing was much more easier in that game. Well, in Pokemon campaign, I was much more quiet and reserved in that. I think I learned much better to express myself, just not letting myself be in the background anymore. Just I have getting better to get myself in situations now.
I'd love for you to please sell to the audience about your universe and your character's world. What is it about this world that you believe would be unique, interesting, or just plain fun for the PC characters, the PCs to visit?
Most of the world is pretty much in a large town, very large, actually more of a city than a town, where it's segregated into different districts depending on what kind of arts or cooking style that area would be represent. And there would be buildings that would all represent different types of crafting skills, different arts, or different cooking that the city would be full of. And that city is not the most friendliest towards the other districts. They are egotistical, you could say. Everyone thinks they are better than the others. So there is conflict, not physical conflict, but there is a lot of we are much better than you, no, we are much better. And there were much of that kind of conflict in the city. But then there's people that live outside the city that are much fewer, much smaller, and those are people who don't have the same egos as the people in the city. They are like Minoru's family that are much more wanted to try everything and do different kinds of arts and mix them together, not just stay in one place doing one thing. Depending on where we end up in the place, maybe people get separated, and people would get influenced by the other areas of their thinking and how we are much better than the other guys, and there could be different kind of conflict between the people, different members of the party if they go there. There could be conflict there.
What is your biggest goal for your character throughout this story?
Well, first of all, maybe him to learn some manners, because he is extremely wild and he speaks his mind, just doesn't really sugarcoat anything. So learning some manners would be good. But if he's going to go to different worlds, he wants to learn everything he can about what they do, what kind of food they have, what kind of things they create there. He wants to learn. He wants to learn everything he can. Maybe bring some of that knowledge to his home then. Maybe somehow, some way, maybe able to stop that stupid argument between different districts. Who knows?
It is a lovely, sunny morning, lunchtime, that kind of time period, when Minoru is shouted down from his room by his father. You can smell something delicious that your mother is probably cooking. Your two little sisters helping out in the kitchen. There's the clattering of pots and pans, and you hear, Minoru, could you come down for a moment?
Finally, some food. And Minoru will run down as fast as he can.
You see that your mother and little sisters are plating up. I'm imagining kind of like a katsu curry type of thing. You know, lots of rice and the I imagine chicken katsu, the delicious curry sauce being ladled, you know, very elegantly, perfect for someone to come and snap a picture. You know, drifting the smoke, not smoke, the
Steam,
thank you, wafting up elegantly as they are putting the plates down on the table. And your little sister's kind of like, Minoru, hi, we made this. What do you think, Minoru?
Hold on, I haven't eaten anything yet. Calm down.
Well, eat some. Yeah, eat some, Minoru, eat some. And they begin kind of like dragging you over to the table. One sister on each hand as they're dragging you to the table, kicking out a chair for you, just like, sit, eat the food.
Calm down. Of course I'm going to eat. Who is not going to eat? And Minoru is going to start tasting this food.
It is wonderfully seasoned. The chicken is tender and juicy, and the panko crust gives a delightful crunch as you bite down on it. The rice, aromatic, and again, beautiful use of seasonings. by your mother. It is top quality. It is fine.
It's delicious as always. But could you have asked me to come help? I would have wanted to help with this.
Well, Minoru, you need to save up your strength today. You've got a big journey. And your father kind of nods as though, yes, Minoru, you don't you remember? You have a task today.
What was it again?
Your father kind of rolls his eyes and says, you remind him to your mother. And she says, well, Minoru, don't you remember the Wilfs moved to the city recently? And the Wilfs, they are a grandfather-grandson. They're both called Wilfred. Hence, when talking about the pair, the Wilfs. And when talking about them individually, you have Old Wilf and Young Wilf. And this grandfather-grandson duo, they were weavers. They specialized in basket making. And, occasionally they'd make bags and sun hats, that type of thing. And recently, the pair of them moved to the city because there was a sudden influx in crafting using natural materials. And as such, they have been able to move to the city. And they left some of their supplies behind, and they asked if anyone would be willing to take them the straw and like a loom. And your father, in his infinite wisdom, offered his son's services to take the goods.
Oh yeah, that. I need to the city. What district am I going to again? Minoru actually goes to his tail, puts his hand in the tail and takes out the notebook and goes to Minoru. This notebook he has is filled with different districts and different names. These names are all the different personalities he has created so that he can go into the city. It's because districts are crazy. Mm-hmm. He needs to avoid any unwanted attention. He needs to be a certain person in a certain district.
Your mother and father kind of they watch on in a curiously, I guess, as you are creating this new personality, this new persona. Almost. Your little sister's very giddy. They start mimicking you because maybe one day if they try hard enough, they will also be able to do this. And so they're mimicking you. They're following along. One of you, the younger of the two, your little sister's about 8 and 9. The 8-year-old is kind of stumbling a little bit. Maybe she bangs her hand on the table and the other sister laughs. Stop laughing at don't laugh at your little sister, your mother says, kind of swatting her elder daughter.
That's not going to work. You can't transform like I do.
Maybe one day, though, if we believe hard enough. Maybe.
Sure. Whatever you believe.
Do you want to describe the persona that Minoru creates?
Let's see. Black hair with few hairs with turn it into red, could say ear-like.
I was going to say, looking like the edge boy that he is in his soul. Minoru exits the house and travels down the little dirt path to where the Wilfs used to live. Now, compared to Minoru's more Japanese style home, with the white walls and the kind of swooping pagoda-esque roof, the Wilfs lived in what you could describe it as a traditional English thatched roof cottage. Very simple, not much decoration to it, but that thatching was grand. And there is a small cart with all of the stuff on board, just waiting for Minoru to get to pulling.
Oh, great. Well, I better get some good food when I get back.
Minoru begins pulling the cart. As I said, it is quite a warm summer's day, and in that jacket, he does begin working up a bit of a sweat. It's not particularly heavy work, but it's just the heat coming down. Although as he gets further into the forest, the sunlight dappling through the trees, it creating these beautiful shadows on the forest path. It does become somewhat cooler. There's a nice breeze blowing through and distant bird song. It's very, very pretty, very atmospheric. And
Okay, the jacket was too much. It was too much. Should have got something lighter. Damn.
but lamenting his desire to be edgy, Minoru continues on through the forest until eventually he sees rising above a crest in the hill is the city, the as yet unnamed city of arts and crafts and finest foods known to man, where all of creativity can come together and argue effectively. And right there in front of him, coming up, there's I imagine like a bridge with a river going around the entire city. Crossing the bridge, there is the south gate. And does Minoru begin following instructions?
Yes, he is distracted looking at all the shops that are around, like, I want to see what's going on inside there. Oh, what's going on inside there? No, I have a job. I need to do this. But what's that? No. He's very hard. He's doing his best to stay on task.
And there is so much for Minoru to see. There is hustle and bustle everywhere. The streets are packed, as they always are. And there are the sounds of tailors' workshops going off. You can hear clattering. You can hear in a bakery somewhere, Marie, the baguettes, hurry up! And I couldn't mind that. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
Your book is also a musical, by the way. Not only is it a cookbook and a crafts book, it's also a musical book.
Who knows? He created a good start thinking of maybe he could go into music art as well.
And above all of the noise, I think what might interest Minoru the most is the scents. The smell of this city. 1 minute he is getting pulled towards something very sugary and sweet, something that's probably very delicate looking, and then the next you have the strong aroma of paprika and cumin and turmeric, and then something sour, lemons, citrus, limes. So many delicious smells, so many people. But Minoru focuses and he goes left at the Italian Quarter, then a right at textiles, and so on and so forth. And Minoru very quickly realizes that he is, oddly enough, he is heading towards the gourmet French cuisine quarter. And that does fill Minoru with just a hint of dread, because there is a particular woman and her children who have been causing his family a little bit of upheaval. She has been requesting that the village be moved further away, just to create even more of a barrier between the people living in the city and those peasants out in the little village.
The Dick family, of course.
Of course. And speaking of them, above the clattering, above all of the commotion, you can hear some very high-pitched shrieking in French. And I'm not going to say it because I can't speak French. But it is shrieking while you can hear children sobbing, and then you hear an older man saying, "He didn't mean no harm. Stop doing this. Stop yelling at my boy." And you can see up ahead a crowd has formed surrounding an older man with a young boy. He's maybe 7, and he's kind of holding him protectively. And on the other side, a woman that you know as Madame Bonbon, and she is clutching to her skirt. She's a short, somewhat plump French woman, dressed entirely in black, as all French women do when they reach a certain age. And clutching to her skirt, she has 2 small children in little sailor suits. And you know these are her children, Sue and Vede. And these 2 kids they've been picking on your little sisters. The last time your little sisters came into the city, they were extremely rude and very mean about their clothes, their hair, just nitpicking at everything. And as you are coming up to this, you hear Sue say, that boy stole my lollipop, Mama, he stole my lollipop. And
drama's beginning, of course. What do I expect when I come to town? Why is my life this way?
Vede continues, Oui, maman, I saw it with my eyes. And Madame Bonbon this is what you get when you allow the outsiders into the city. I would like to apologize to Kiwi for that accent. So yeah, this is what you get when you allow outsiders into the city. How dare this is an insult for you to have been placed next to our glorious district. And Wilf is protectively, my grandson would do no such thing. These are lies you be telling. These be lies. And you know young Wilf. Young Wilf is a good boy. He wouldn't be stealing other kids' sweets or anything like that. Young Wilf seems very traumatized by this entire situation.
Oh, he knows this. Those kids just want to cause trouble. They're just being dicks, as usual. Better go stop this as soon as I can. I just continue with my cart into that crowd. Get away, get away! I have stuff to bring here.
Madame Bonbon looks shocked that someone would dare interrupt her. And she kind of backs up and, young man, who in all of creation do you think you are? Bringing this cart next to my children, you could have ran them over.
Oh no, I wouldn't. They are smart. They should be smart enough to not get it away.
Sue and Vidard, they start the wailing intensifies. Does old and young Wilf know this is one of Minoru's disguises?
Actually, no. Only his family actually knows about Minoru. So
okay,
Minoru's kind of a secret.
Okie doke. So old Wilf he looks at you suspiciously, but then he notices that's my cart, and he will say, "Oh, are you the boy that old?"
Yep. I'm here to deliver your rest of your stuff.
Oh, thank you, lad. Thank you. And old Wilf seems to be using this as an opportunity to get away from the scene.
Yep.
And let me show you in. Let me show you in. Madame Bonbon continues screaming. This is what we get. This is what we get when we allow.
Madame, shut up! I'm trying to listen to these instructions here.
She just like her mouth goes slack jawed. What? Sue and Veed look kind of impressed that someone has told their mother to shut up, and they're just kind of like, oh.
Now, where is it to we take your stuff?
Oh, this way. Come with me, lad. Come with me. What be I calling you, boyo?
Call me Michi.
Mitchie, and young and old Wilf will begin leading you. Young Wilf is he's sniffling, and he will actually hold on to Minoru's arm a little bit, and he's kind of like he was very upset by the entire situation, and old Wilf leads you to it's actually a very humble district compared to the gourmet French cuisine. Very humble. The buildings are very plain, quite tall, but very simple, very minimalist. But in front of them, there are these beautiful landscaped gardens. These kind of hedges, again, very simple, very clean lines and wonderful flowers. There's lavender and honeysuckle growing. The scent is really what it's more about the smell of the place than the visuals, if you get what I'm saying.
But I was just admiring this place, just all kind of different places. I need to come here next time. I think Mitzi would work here.
Mitch, if you just put the stuff here, thank you for that, lad. Thank you.
No problems. I've dealt with that family before. They, everyone in this city are, unfortunately, most of them are like that. Don't worry about it.
I don't get it. I thought we were all here to be creative and learn from each other, but the welcome we've had here has been. I mean, look at my grandson, and young Wilf just kind of nods.
Yeah, this place is not that most friendliest place. I don't think they know how to be friendly here. They just think they are much better than anyone else. They don't think that their others crafting are anything to speak at. It's just everyone thinks they're better than the other.
It's a shame, a real shame. Let me get you something for Frank. They're bringing me stuff. Thank you, lad. Thank you. And Old Wolf will head inside. Young Wolf stays with you, and he kind of tugs on your shoulder like, Mitchie.
Yes, what is it?
Would you like to do some crafting with me? And he has a mischievous twinkle in his eye.
You don't need to ask. Let's go.
And young Wilf will, taking off some of the straw and things like that, he very quickly pulls out his own notebook and does a little sketch of a miniature catapult. I said, why don't we make the basket for that? There are some twigs just in the garden there. We could make that and he begins glancing over towards Madame Bonbon's delectation paradise, whatever her store is called.
I like how you think. Yes, let's do this.
And young Wilf will teach Minoru how to craft the basket, his hands moving very quickly at first before he realizes I'm teaching a new person. And he begins slowly teaching you. You lay this piece over this, and then this piece over this. Then we bring in, and he begins showing Minoru how to weave the basket of this little catapult.
And Minoru is very happy to learn. He's always wondered how all these natural baskets are made, so he is very much interested to learn how this is made. Maybe he can make something for his siblings when he can.
And together, Minoru and young Wilf, they gather the sticks and they make the little catapult. And I imagine they find a rock or something, and young Wilf holding it up, they found a little hidden alleyway to kind of test this thing out. He's like, do you want to do the honors, Mitch?
Oh, I would love to. And Minoru takes it.
Yes.
Let's do this.
And Minoru winds up the catapult and cuts the string. The rock sails so magnificently over the street, hurtling towards one of Madame Bonbon's windows, and it smashes. And you hear from inside, once again, that like Madame Bonbon shrieking and caterwauling, my windows!
Ah, what a beautiful sound.
And young Wolf will hold up a hand for a high five.
High five.
Boom!
Okay, listen. I will craft you the most amazing stuff that I can. If I can't, I will learn. And I will also cook the most amazing dinners and snacks I can. There's no questions about it. If I don't know what you want from me, I will learn it. Most definitely. And, well, if there is going to be problems, I'm sorry about it. That might be my fault. I can't say I will stop, but I will try. Maybe. But I will most likely make this adventure much more fun and much more interesting. And I hope to learn as much as from you as you can will from me. Oh, this is going to be fun.